What is going on, Colts Nation? Welcome back to another episode of Bring the Juice. Guys, we're following another trade rumor here that the Indianapolis Colts are linked to. And I think quite a few of you probably have already heard this. But in case you haven't already, the Indianapolis Colts are being linked to Dallas Goedert, tight end from Philadelphia. We've heard some people talk about it. Even seen some people online suggest the idea that Goedert to Indianapolis makes a lot of sense. The Philadelphia Eagles are just looking to free up cap from that contract for Dallas Goedert. He is on his last year of that contract, which honestly, the numbers are not that crazy. I'd have to look a little deeper into what exactly the Colts would pay for. And we're not entirely sure what the draft or what the trade compensation would be for Dallas Goedert. But Cody, how would you feel about the Indianapolis Colts trading for Dallas Goedert?
I think it does depend on the price, right? If you can get him for a mid-round pick, I would be good with that. Again, I don't know how much the Eagles are asking for him. That's my biggest question is how much do they do that? I mean, at the end of the day, Derek, he's 30 years old on the last year of his contract. So I would think that would drive the price down. But I think if the Colts are able to get it for the right price, I would absolutely love for the Colts to go get a guy like Dallas Goedert. Again, a player that knows Shane Steichen very well, was with him in his time in Philadelphia. I think it would make some sense. The Colts have nobody on their roster even close to the level of Dallas Goedert. I know Goedert dealt with some injuries last year, but Derek, I think he'd by far and away be the best tight end on this roster. And even if the Colts did do this, I mean, we've talked about it before, Derek, I do think they still should go and get a tight end fairly early. I do believe they should because Dallas Goedert is 30. He's on the last year of his contract. So there's a lot of uncertainty about his future with the Colts, but if they did acquire him, of course. But I do think if they were able to get him for the right price, I would absolutely love to have a player like Dallas Goedert on this team. And I think he'd fit in Shane Steichen's system like a glove. So I would absolutely love that for Indianapolis.
Yeah, I mean, it just makes a lot of sense. Obviously, the Colts are very tight end hungry right now. And of course, there's familiarity. Dallas Goedert, Shane Steichen led offense. There's familiarity there. Dallas Goedert, I know he's 30 years old, just turned 30 this year, and obviously does have a relatively decent injury history. Cody has missed basically 15 games in the last 3 seasons. So there has been multiple injuries, which would probably help the Indianapolis Colts as well if you were negotiating a trade, right? Mm-hmm. So, you're talking about a guy that's 30 plus years old. He's had a long injury history, all those things. Now, obviously, those are the cons to dealing with Dallas Goedert. But again, the pros, like you said, Dallas Goedert is a proven commodity. He is a very good tight end. When you see his numbers and you look at the numbers that he does put up, I mean, you saw in 2023 when he played for a majority of the season, had 59 catches for 600 yards and 3 touchdowns. He definitely can put up some solid numbers for you.
And really, Derek, sorry to interrupt you, but really, he's the third option on that offense. He's behind Devontae Smith. He's behind A.J. Brown. So he's getting the third most targets, right? He's not like the primary focus at all. And one thing I wanted to say as well, Derek, so Shane Steichen obviously was the offensive coordinator. He started calling plays for the Eagles in 2021 and 2022. Well, look at Dallas Goedert's stats in those 2 seasons. Yeah. He actually had 2 of his best seasons as a pro under Shane Steichen. So I think you look at that and you say that is enticing in itself right there, that the fact that, when Shane Steichen was calling plays for Philly, Dallas Goedert was heavily involved and having very, very good seasons with them, right? And you look overall, and it's not like he had like this crazy amount of targets, right? Because sometimes you can be like force feeding guys and say, look at the stats, they're so much better. No, it's actually pretty on par, Derek, with what he's had in terms of targets for Philadelphia.
The main difference in 2021 and 2022 with Shane Steichen the main difference you see is the reception yards and the reception yards per reception.
Yep.
That's the biggest differences there. He has had other seasons where he's had more touchdowns than those, even though they're pretty much right exactly where they usually are. But again, like you said, the number of reception yards is what really stands out. Had 830 in 2021. It was averaging 15 yards a catch. And in 2022, had 700 yards, which was his second highest total, and was averaging 13 yards a catch. So, yeah, again, it's not just about, how much of what, it's just knowing how to use him. And obviously, Shane Steichen would know the strengths of a Dallas Goedert before he even got in the door, right? So that would be a definite great thing. And that would mean in no way, shape, or form that the Indianapolis Colts should refrain from going and getting another tight end because, as I mentioned earlier, Dallas Goedert, you have that injury history. You have to account for the fact that you're probably going to miss him for a few games during the season potentially. So you obviously go and get another tight end. But like you said, Cody, if you can get him for a late round draft pick and knowing that the contract is not going to be that steep, I think it could very well be a very wise decision for the Indianapolis Colts to try and get Goedert.
What better guy than to go get Shane Steichen's guy, right? The guy that he's had the most recent success with. And Derek, if you're able to do that and get a tight end in the draft, I mean, you've completely retooled that unit with only a couple moves. And really, if you trade for Dallas Goedert, it's not that significant amount of draft compensation you're getting up, right? Like you still have an opportunity. We talk about flexibility with the moves the Colts have made in their secondary. This would give even more flexibility in the draft. Say with that 14th overall pick, you could do a lot of things. You could still draft the tight end if you wanted to. You could draft a linebacker. You could draft a defensive lineman. Heck, you could draft your right tackle of the future. Like you could do that. Now, again, some people will disagree with some of those moves, but you know what I mean. Like you get the flexibility if you're able to get a Dallas Goedert, and maybe that position, while it's not a position that goes away, maybe it gets pushed down just a hair in comparison to some of these other ones. So that would make some sense there. You have a proven commodity in Dallas Goedert. If he can stay healthy, I mean, watch out. He'd be a great piece here for this Indianapolis Colts tight end room. And Derek, in a prove-it year for Anthony Richardson and Shane Steichen, I think you need to get some proven guys in there that give you the full determination on if he is the guy or not, and give him as many weapons as possible. Tight end is really the only position group right now that you don't really feel great about at all. So I really do believe that if you went and got Dallas Goedert, you'd feel a lot better about your tight end room.
Yeah, no doubt. And it's just, again, another proven commodity that can actually be brought into this room and, do some great things, be able to be a reliable weapon for Anthony Richardson or whatever quarterback we decide to go with this year. Who freaking knows at this point. But yeah, so that's going to do it for this one, guys. Let us know your thoughts on the idea of the Indianapolis Colts trading for Dallas Goedert. Do you like that move? Would you hate that move? All things considered. But that's going to do it for this one, guys. Thank you so much. And as always, go Colts.